Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa. The topic that I chose is identifying an individual using human remains. What is a forensic anthropologist? They are people who study skeletal anatomy and other human biology. They learn a lot about the body. They help determine how a person died, when they might have died, and who the person is that died. They have a lot of different jobs in a lot of different fields. Some of the main ones that they help, or some of the main people that they help, is law enforcement people, legal professionals, medical examiners, and disaster response teams. Going into that a little bit more, some of the other things that they do is allowing authorities and law officials to identify deceased individuals, help investigate certain crimes, provide closure for missing person cases, disaster victim identification, provide answers about circumstances involving death of an individual. So they're very well-rounded, very important people. The four main things that are determined by human remains is the age, race, stature, and sex of a person. Going into that a little bit more as well, age is determined by the teeth, bone fusion, and bone size. Race is going to be determined by the skull. Stature is the measurements of the bones, and sex is going to be the skull and the pelvis. Analyzing human remains, they have a lot of different techniques that they use to be able to determine human remains. The main one is going to be X-rays. That provides a visual view of the bones. Also DNA, they can test bones, they can test teeth, skin. They can do that kind of stuff to help determine who the person is. They, as we talked about earlier, are going to help with like the age of the person at death, sex, height, skeletal characteristics. And they're also going to evaluate, I guess the word is, evaluate like the entire skeleton, including skull, pelvis, long bones, short bones, basically the entire body. I know I talked about this in the textbook, but I just really, really liked it. And I feel like the visual here is like a really good explanation. So I just wanted to use it again. Basically, the only thing you really need to know is that male and female skulls are very different. The male is going to be larger than the female. Female is going to be smaller. Male has more of like a squared chin and an acute angle of the jaw, while the female's opposite, they have a pointed chin and an obtuse angle of the jaw. Pelvis is a really good way to determine sex as well. Male is going to have more narrow hips and a heart-shaped opening, as you can see in that picture. They're going to have more of a narrow pubic arch, while the female is opposite. They're going to have wider hips, a circular opening, and a wide pubic arch. So that's a really good way, if you ever see the pelvis, to be able to determine male or female. I work in dental assisting, so I see a lot of baby teeth. Everyone has different sized baby teeth that all fall out at different times and at different ages. Between the ages of 5 and 13, they're going to have different teeth in their mouth. They're going to have teeth that have fallen out, teeth that are growing in. You can kind of determine like what teeth are in at what time to be able to tell how old they are. So if you ever have a school, that's a good way to determine. Sorry. Wisdom teeth are also really important because you can see if they've grown in, if they've got them taken out. You can tell if they're in their teenage to adult years. Skeletal identification, stature is a really good way of determining age in male or female by the length of their bones. Right here, you can see the averages, 43.6 for male and 40.2 for female. If their bones are going to be larger or longer, then they're going to be taller in height. And opposite, if they're shorter, then they're going to be shorter in height, which I think is really cool that you can determine that by our bones. Reading a skeleton, forensic anthropologists are really good at reading evidence. They're able to identify bones and be able to help like answer unsolved crimes and unsolved questions, which I think is really cool and really important. They can tell with their bones if like injuries they've had. Like in here it says, I think it says bullet holes, cuts, to be able to tell if something terrible happened to their bones or to their body. I just think it's really cool that they can help law enforcement and medical examiners and all of those people help like solve crimes. And I'm so grateful for them. Like without them, we wouldn't be probably where we are today. Like we wouldn't be able to solve cases, we wouldn't be able to have things solved in our community. And I think our life would be a lot harder without them. So I'm really grateful for them. And it's been really fun learning about them. And yeah, that is the rest of my PowerPoint. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed and learned something. Thank you.